From tons of waste to injured animals, child labour and slavery, chemical waste, non-recyclable materials, and two of the biggest issues of fast fashion: water pollution and deforestation. Fast fashion is polluting our world and killing our wildlife. Each year, between 70 and 100 million trees are cut down for the purpose of fast fashion. 48% of fashion supply chain is linked with deforestation, proving it to be a massive issue in the fashion industry and for the rest of the world. One material that comes from trees is the popular cellulosic fibres. These are included in fabrics like cotton, hemp, and linen. It's not just the trees that this process affects. Deforestation comes with greenhouse emissions and endangered biodiversity, whether that be plants or animals, due to the natural habitats being destroyed. All wildlife is affected by the fashion industry to some extent. Marine life, big and small, is affected by the fashion industry the most. This is from water pollution, whether that be from chemical waste being pumped into the waterways from fashion factories due to the dyes they use in their materials, or plastics such as lost property causing entanglement, or even consumption of microplastics leading to illness. I spoke with a marine life rescuer who specialises in seal rescues in Cornwall to find out how marine mammals are affected by the industry.
Marine mammals can be affected by marine litter in a variety of different ways. First is through entanglement, usually in things like ghost gear, but also things such as plastic packaging, for example. This can be detrimental to the animal's health, first and foremost by restricting its ability to move and to forage, which in turn can lead to the animals becoming exhausted and malnourished. It can also cause injuries to them, leaving them open to infection. On the other side, and the somewhat unseen properties of pollution, especially with microplastics, are their ability to be taken up into the food chain, and these plastics do harbour toxins which, as they reach the top of the food chain, can actually become harmful if they reach quantities where they're able to affect the animal that they are essentially stored in. So things like PCBs, for example, have been documented as potentially causing a reduction in animals' ability to reproduce, as well as suppressing the immune system, making them more vulnerable to mortality from disease.
Why do so many people choose fast fashion? I spoke with some clothes shopping lovers about their fashion choices to find out why they shop where they do.
I buy a lot of stuff from Shein. I've probably been buying pretty much from Shein over the last year. About 95% of my clothes are coming from there, and the rest from Primark. So yeah, those are my go-to for clothes. Because the clothes are really nice. They're actually quite unique. Some of the stuff that's on Shein and Primark, just really for like socks and vests and that kind of thing from there. The quality of the clothes are pretty reasonable at Shein and Primark, and I think that's mainly one of the things, because if you go to like ASOS and Pretty Little Thing and look at the same type of clothes, they're a bit better quality, I think, at Shein, and the other two that I've just mentioned, they're quite pricey, especially ASOS, and I think that's why they're losing customers, because the price wars. It is a shame because, like I said, I do get some little bits from charity shops and that sort of thing, but it's, you know, it's quite random if I ever get anything from there. But it's just easier, do you know what I mean? And the fact that it's cheaper. I mean, cost of living crisis, everything's been quite difficult, and the fact that you weren't able to go to the shops during the pandemic and lockdown, I think played quite a big factor in having clothes posted to you, so you couldn't go into the shops and buy the clothes like you would do normally. So I think out of that, there was a big, you know, it made the difference, I think, when it came to fast fashion, because a lot of people couldn't go out to the shops, so it was easier just to go onto your laptop and buy clothes that way.
I get most of my clothes from Sports Direct, practical clothing, online, and it's affordable. If I want to go to the high street, I'll go to Primark. Whole outfits for under £30. Bargain, student life.
So, it seems that even though people do know about some of the negative impacts that the industry has on the wildlife and the environment, the price they pay for their clothing overrides their concerns. I got on the train and I went to visit a small village in Lincolnshire to speak with Fiona. She repairs old clothing instead of binning it to help reduce landfill and therefore help the environment. Fiona also reworks old clothing that's no longer wanted by her family members and transforms them into other items that will get worn.
This shirt was going to go into the rubbish bin, so instead of that we're going to turn it into a dress for a child. That way that will be less for landfill and it will have a life for a little while longer.
Not only has Fiona contributed towards helping promote slow fashion and steering away from fast fashion, but she has also inspired her 10-year-old daughter Lily to be sustainable when it comes to fashion. Lily wants more people to shop sustainably, and it's mostly down to her love for animals and nature.
Give it to a charity shop or put it into a clothing recycling bin, or give it to family and friends because it helps the environment.
From deforestation for the use of materials like cellulosic fibres, to the lost fabrics at sea causing entanglement, to microplastics damaging the insides of animals, to factories releasing a lot of greenhouse emissions and chemical waste, and not to mention the amount of textile waste produced each year. The fast fashion industry has a lot to answer for when it comes to the harm of millions of innocent animals every single year.